yesterday in the wet, we had a total of 19 laps completed, and in all, 13 drivers ended up finishing on the lead lap. So the Nissan Leaf pace car pulls out of pit road. Here is that green and black 00 fluid sponsor machine alongside the black and white 40 of Kevin King as they roll on the start.
The 77 of Fatty Morad rounds out the top 5 here at the end of that opening lap. So the battle continues a little bit further back. Lamage coming under fire from the one car of Bedard, and I believe Bedard has gone around at the top of turn number 2. As they work back into 3, things starting to heat up. Olivier Bedard, who started 8th on the grid, has now carved his way all the way up into that 4th place position as the race leader, Jake Exton, works through turn number 4. Then it is the 40 of King. Lamage there in 3rd, and then Bedard in the 1 car running in 4th. So it's a 4-car breakaway as Bedard right on the rear bumper of Valerie Lamage. He wants that 3rd place position and is closing here out of 5C as they work up through the gearbox. 109 horsepower aboard these Nissan Micras, and it's single file trying to work the draft and get any kind of advantage you can. Lamage actually opening up a little bit here on Bedard, and then we got a 3-4 car battle going on a little bit further back for 5th, 6th, 7th as they work around to complete what is lap number 2. So the 00 through turn 9, Jake Exton will bring him onto the start-finish straightaway. Then it is King 40, Lamage, and then the 1, and still the 77 of Fatty Morad rounding out that top 5 as they work up across the line. And here's a battle right at the tail end of the field. The number 728 entry of Mario Charette having a go at it there with Michael Habrish. That is the race for 14th and 15th as they complete lap number 2 and head up to turn 3.
Working on topping and scoring as we speak. As a matter of fact, we'll catch up with everything. Boy, what a busy place. If you want to see a busy picture podium, take a look at Camping World Truck Series. We've got Justin Haley has just arrived. It's taken him about 20 minutes to escape the people that wanted everything that they had on themselves, including some of their arms and legs, signed by the race winner a minute ago.
Well, another dramatic finish. That's becoming sort of routine for the Chevrolet Silverado 250, a dramatic conclusion here in turn number 10. And Jim, we saw it all unfold in front of us as the two Toyota drivers came together, and a thrilling finish to that one. We're looking for a great conclusion here as we work lap number 3 of the Nissan Micra Cup Series. This is race 10 of the championship. And right now, Olivier Bedard, who started 8th, is right at the tail end of that front-running quartet that's just making its way through the S's here, out of turn 8 into 9. The move it 00 of Jake Exton. The pole sitter still running up in front. Second is Kevin King, then Valerie Lamage, and then Bedard. And looking to see where Norman Boyer is. He's all the way down in about that 9th place position. Remember, yesterday, Norman won here in the wet on the racetrack. Of course, he had that penalty that put him down to 2nd. But I'm not sure if he decided he's pretty much got the senior championship wrapped up, qualified 7th. And right now running down in about 8/9 as they were heading up to turn number 2. But Jake Exton here has led every lap so far. Lap number 3 going up on the board as they work around. Just looking at the lap times, 1:45 and change. Not as quick as they qualified earlier this morning when Jake Exton took the pole at a low 1:44 at 1:44.133.
Very, very quick, that's for sure. Not quite as quick as qualifying, but that's not a surprise. They've got a lot more things to worry about, including people in the rearview mirror. Jake Exton with the 00 machine doing a tremendous job once again today. Had a nice result yesterday as well. And Kevin King drove the wheels off the black and white number 40 machine. Valerie Lamage, green number 220 car, actually started on the pole, and it was really encouraging. It took a couple of penalties to get her the first place trophy. The bottom line was she's driven an excellent race weekend here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and it looks as though she's on her way to take home another trophy as it stands right now in 3rd place overall in front of Olivier Bedard and Fatty Murad, the fastest rookie we've seen all weekend in the 77 car, running in 5th place overall.
While the running order stays the same, the 00 move it entry off of turn 10, then 40 Kevin King in 2nd. Valerie Lamage in the 220 runs in 3rd, then the 4th place car of Bedard, at least for the moment. Bedard appears content to sit there in 4th. 77 Fatty Murad is 5th. There's Norman Boyer. He's got going all the way up into 6th. 17, the driver from Northville, Michigan, Mike Ogren, is 7th. 8th is 98 Sylvain Willette. 9th is 116 Eric Chaput. And then 20, Austin Riley rounds out your top 10.
And it looks as though we've gotten ourselves another battle on our hands. We had, I believe there was 5 cars for the most part in yesterday's rain-soaked event that really put on quite a show for us. Today, well, there's only 4 cars, but the separation between them is 31/100ths of a second. 3/10ths of a second is all that separates the top 3 cars when they cross the start-finish line. This is another dogfight. We're only 7 minutes into it, and it looks as though we're in for quite a contest between now and the time when the clock rolls around to, I believe it's about 10 minutes before 6. What we're going to call this one in conclusion.
Jake Exton will bring that 4-car freight train out of 5C as they begin the run up through the gearbox on the Andretti straightaway under the Mobil 1 crossover there. It's still tight, maybe about 8-9 car lengths separating those front-running 4. And time again, I'm seeing Valerie Lamage able to open up 3 or 4 car lengths here on the number 1 of Olivier Bedard. But then as they break for turn number 8, and they're not breaking a whole lot, Bedard is able to reel him back. And on the inside, Bedard will grab that 3rd place spot as he stuffs the 220 car of Valerie Lamage, and she will get shuffled back into 4th. So Bedard is beginning his march to the front. It took him a couple of laps to move right at the tail end of that group. Then he sized them up for a couple more, and now he has gone up into that 3rd place position, and Kevin King is all over Jake Exton as they work down through the bottom of turn number 2, heading up to 3. King taking a look on the inside here as they come into the corner. The opening is there, but he'll tuck back in. It's still that green and black 00 of Jake Exton, but Kevin King is all over the rear bumper. They work the short chute. Coming to the downhill left-hander at 4, under the bridge, heading for Moss Corner. We'll see if King takes a look on the inside. No, he will follow him up into 5A.
Wow, what a dogfight that is down turn number 5, 5B. They get onto the back straightaway. Turn number 6, the shallow left-hand curve as they head up the Mario Andretti straightaway. About a car length separates the two as they go underneath the Mobile 1 sign. Coming up onto the straightaway for the first time, some exceptionally fast and exceptionally close lap times. Last time by, we looked at the top 4 cars: 1:45.4, 4:8, 4:6, 3:9, 3:4. Olivier Bedard, the fastest car on the racetrack, the number 1 machine, 4th place, but he hasn't given this one up by any stretch. This is still a dogfight.
Off the end of the Andretti straightaway, back into turn 8. That quartet of cars is split into a couple of dandy 2-car battles. The race for the lead involving the 00 of Jake Exton, the 40 of Kevin King, and then Olivier Bedard, the points leader, followed by Valerie Lamage. And then we've got a 4-way fight going on here for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. It is rookie driver 77, Fatty Murad in 5th. Norman Boyer, the 11 car, in 6th. 7th is Mike Ogren in the 17. And Sylvain Willette is the last of the cars there fighting it out in that 4-way fight for 5th, 6th, 7th. So great racing all over the top 10 as we complete lap number 5, working lap 6 here in the Nissan Micra Cup.
That's all there is. We still have some half an hour of racing to go. The top 4 cars separated by just over 0.8 of a second as it stands right now. A full second is all you need to cover all 4 of those cars. Exton, King, Limoges. We've got to the Bedard. Olivier Bedard, the number 1 machine, has made his way all the way from 8th place to 4th, and only in the first 11 minutes of this contest. There's still lots to come. We've got some people who had some misfortune yesterday. Peter Dyke in the 73 car in the top dozen. Peter Cohen, a veteran in the 86, in that top dozen as well. It's still a great race, and there's still lots of racing to go at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
They work their way down in through the turn 8 area, and again, Bedard in car number 1 is starting to close on that front-running pair out of turn 10. They've picked about half the real estate. They were back earlier, so those two-car battles are going to become a 4-way fight very, very shortly as they roll up across and into turn number 1. Working lap number 8, 7 laps completed for the race leader, Jake Exton, and the lap time still there at about 1:44 and change because they continue to put on the pressure up front. Another great fight going on further back involving Alex Habrish, who is 11th in car number 75, and the 73 of Peter Dick back there in 12th. It's 86, Peter Cohen in 13th, and Mario Charette in car number 728 back there in the 14th place spot.
Great battles going on, that's for sure. The top 2 separated by 1/10 of a second. We've got another half second back to Olivier Bedard, but Olivier Bedard hasn't taken the backseat to anybody. He's moved all the way up from 8th to 3rd.
Side of Jake Exton into turn number 10. Couldn't quite get it done. It really killed his drive off the corner. And on the start-finish straightaway, both Olivier Bedard and Valerie Limoges was able to get around. So all of a sudden, Kevin King, who had been running in second, gets shuffled to the tail end of this fast quartet of cars as they work off at turn number 3. This one in the dry today, but every bit as entertaining and close as that race yesterday in the wet, Jim.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This race is even better because, if nothing else, they're just as close as they were yesterday in the rain, but there's no rain. This race is even faster. So they're running at the same distance apart from each other, but they're doing it more quickly, that's for sure. Entertainment is what this is all about as far as motorsport. It's about getting from A to B faster. We're doing it today in the dry, and we still have 4 people that are in the hunt. Nobody is giving anybody any ground to make a mistake, and if someone does make a mistake, it's going to cost them dearly. Top 4 right now, 3 of the 4 going to be up on the podium the way it stands. The order of that podium finish, wow, it's anybody's guess. Closing in on the halfway mark of the race.
While our top senior driver, Norman Boyer, who is in that 5th place position ahead of the rookie, 77 Fatty Murad. Here's the challenge for the lead. As on the inside, Olivier Bedard try to stuff it on the inside into turn number 8, and they're still side by side through 9 into 10. Bedard will get the inside position and grab the lead off of turn 10. He does give Jake Exton room, and they're side by side to the line. Officially, Exton had the lead at the stripe, but Bedard with the better positioning down into turn number 1 on the inside will grab the lead. So Olivier Bedard showing why he is a 2-time Nissan Micra Cup champion. After starting 8th on the grid, he has chopped his way through like a hot knife through butter to grab the lead from that 8th place position. And there we see the Jake Exton car in second, then the 220 of Valerie Limoges, and then Kevin King in car number 40.
Boy, this is a dogfight, that's for sure. Olivier Bedard, among other things, tried in turn number 8, tried in 9, tried in 10 again, got up side by side in turn number 10. Jake Exton, I got to give him all sorts of marks. Among other things, he could have pressed the issue, he could have bumped, he could have rubbed fenders. But that was not the case at all. Everybody, nice, clean driving. Olivier Bedard had just the slightest of advantages at the exit of turn number 10. Pressed the advantage when they crossed the start-finish line. It was still Jake Exton's race the last time they crossed the start-finish line by 22 thousandths of a second. But Olivier Bedard had the line into turn number 1 and took the lead.
Well, here comes Exton. He's going to pull out of the draft, takes a wide run up that Andretti straightaway, maybe trying a little different line under the Canadian Tire Bridge into the top of the S's at turn number 8. Exton around the outside. That's going to set him up on the inside into the left-hander here at turn number 9. He has grabbed the lead back from Bedard into turn 10, and Bedard with the inside line. He will jump back out in front, and it's going to be a drag race to the stripe to see who is the leader, and it's still Jake Exton.
Unbelievable. Last time by, the Exton crossed the start-finish line 22 thousandths of a second in front. This time by 5 thousandths of a second.
Oh, this is incredible racing up front. Bedard back out in front, but officially at the line, Exton was given the nod by a couple of feet over Bedard, and Valerie Limoges right there in third. She's got the best seat in the house to watch this monumental battle that's going on up front between the Englishman Jake Exton out of Guildford, England, and Quebec's Olivier Bedard, as Bedard looking to win this one. Depending on where King finishes, we'll try to see if Philippe Mercier can give us an update on the point situation here. But right now it is 1 Olivier Bedard, your leader, the 00 of Jake Exton, then 220 Valerie Limoges, and then Kevin King in car number 40. Still the 11 of Norman Boyer in 5th. 6th is 77 Fatty Murad. 7th is the 98 of Sylvain Ouellette. Then the 17 of Northville, Michigan's Mike Ogren. In 9th would be 116 Eric Chaput. And then car number 20, Austin Riley, continues to round out the top 10.
Boy, we've still got some kind of a dogfight out front. The top four cars still separated by a quarter of a second as they come up through turn number 8 one more time. It looks as though everybody's decided to catch their breath just a little bit. There's a car length between everybody right now. There hasn't been a car length until now, but it is closer than it has been. Crossing the start-finish line one more time, it was just a dogfight, but for the first time in 3 laps, Olivier Bedard doesn't just lead a majority of the lap. He actually led the field across the start-finish line by half a second. Jake Exton, I have a feeling Jake behind the wheel of that green car with the Unijack on the roof is basically, he's catching his breath because he's just been hard at it.
Well, I think more than catch his breath, he wants to catch Bedard.
That too.
As they work off at turn number 2 and head to 3, and it looks like Exton is a little bit quicker on the brakes as he's been able to close up a couple of car lengths here on Bedard as they work off at turn number 3, head for 4. It is 13 laps or 12 laps completed, working lap number 13, and coming up on 22 minutes in, 18 minutes to go in this 40-minute Nissan Micra Cup race number 2 on the weekend. Out of turn 5B, up through the gearbox, 109 horsepower, and these Nissan Micras at their disposal, running on the Pirelli tires, and boy, did those tires perform in the wet here yesterday. Oh, and we've got a problem with the driver who had been running in 10th. Austin Riley is off the racetrack. It looks like some kind of a mechanical problem with that Racing with Autism Lincoln Electric sponsored car. And now as we look to the top of the straightaway, a challenge here for that second place position. Valerie Lamage has closed in on the pole sitter Jake Exton through turn number 9. And Olivier Bedard will bring him out at turn 10 on the start-finish straightaway to complete lap number 13, goes in the books.
And Olivier Bedard crossing the start-finish line a moment ago through turn number 1 underneath the Champion Moog Bridge. At the crest of turn number 2 in just a moment's time. Basically, Olivier Bedard looks in the rearview mirror and wipes his brow. I can't help but imagine he would if he could, because for the first time in the entire race, for the first time in 23 minutes, he's watching someone else involved in a pitched battle, and it's not him. He's in first place. He's relatively comfortable, but everybody else is in the midst of a battle unto themselves, and perhaps he can open a little bit of a gap and maybe breathe.
Well, the series officials will be doing all of the calculations here. If he wins this thing, does Bedard have enough of a points gap that he can wrap up the championship here this afternoon? That's all going to depend on where Kevin King in car number 40 finishes. And right now, as they work out of turn 5C, I think things have tightened up once again. And look for a moment as though Bedard was about to check out on the other 3 drivers up in that lead group, but they've been able to reel him back in as Jake Exton in that 00 is within half a car length, and then a car length back in third is Lamage, and then comes Kevin King. They crest the hill under the Canadian Tire Bridge, back into turn number 8. At the top of the S's, it is still Bedard leading that 00 move-it machine, then Valerie Lamage, and then the 40 of Kevin King through 9 out of 10. Back to the stripe they'll come. Lap number 14 goes up on the board, and we have got just about 15 and a half minutes to go.
15 and a half minutes left on the charts. They cross the start-finish line within 0.3 of a second. That's all 4 of those cars. Half a second separates Jake Exton from Olivier Bedard. It looked as though Jake had relaxed just a little bit for a lap or two to catch his breath, and now he said, okay, I'm back up for it again, and giving it everything he possibly can. Olivier Bedard being chased down through turn number 2 up into 3. The right-hand curve has got several of our races over the course of the day today, but it looks like it's a pretty standard effort as far as our little Nissan Micra Cup cars. And here's an interesting point. Today, this is race number 50 of the race series.
Well, indeed, it's 4th year. They just signed a brand new 3-year contract with Nissan Canada, so we'll be racing right through 2020. And I think with any young driver looking to get into a series, certainly the most affordable motor racing series in Canada, these cars cost less than $10,000. Of course, you've got to modify them for racing with all the safety changes that they do make to the car, the roll cage, the fire extinguisher, the 5-horn harness, and so forth. But certainly the most economical way to go racing and be part of some of the biggest race weekends in this country. Off the end of the Andretti straightaway, here comes Exton again. He'll try him on the outside.
Wow.
They're side by side through turn number 8. Exton is going to set him up for the run in a 9. He has grabbed the lead. Here comes Bedard. He'll try to stuff him on the inside into turn 10. And again, they're still running wheel to wheel off of turn number 10. Back to the line. Bedard and Exton. Valerie Lamage moves down on the inside. So it is 4 cars down into turn 1. Bedard, your leader. Exton, Lamage, and Kevin King. So that wild scramble off of turn number 10 really didn't change the running order, but it looks like there was a little bit of bumping going on between Jake Exton and the number 220 of Valerie Lamage. This young lady from Quebec, an outstanding driver, as she is running right on the limit with some of these other drivers up in this lead quartet. We're working lap number 16, and we come up on just 13 minutes to go.
We've been watching these races continue to circulate around the racetrack, quarter after quarter, looking for a mistake, looking for an advantage. Exton second by 0.04 of a second. Valerie Lamage third by 1/10 of a second. Kevin King fourth by 0.09 of a second. Then we've got Norman Boyer, the wily veteran in the 11-car, 5th place overall. Fatty Murad, the rookie, in the 77 is 6th. We got Stefan Ouellette in the number 98 machine is 7th place overall. The 8th place is Mike Ogren. Eric Chapuz, number 116, is 6th. And rounding at the top 10, Peter Dyke in the number 73, 10th place overall. We've got 15 laps on the book, working on lap number 16. Coming up to the top of the Canadian Tire Bridge straightaway, the Mauro Andretti straightaway, that is, into turn number 8. Still no big changes, but this race isn't done by any stretch. As it stands right now, we've got roughly 12 minutes left on the clock.
Well, the only thing that could make this one more exciting, I think, is if we had Norman Boyer up there. Boyer running 5th overall. He is your leader in the senior class. Back in 6th is our top rookie, Fatty Murad, in car number 77, as they put lap number 16 up on the board. Still Olivier Bedard running at the point. Jake Exton in the 00 second. Valerie Lamage, who won the race yesterday after being elevated from 4th up for the win. So Valerie Lamage looking for her 2nd podium of the weekend, and Kevin King back there in 4th. He knows if he wants to hang on to even the slimmest hopes of winning this championship, he's got to get around a couple of cars and get up there and battle with Bedard for the win as they work the short chute coming under the bridge at turn number 4 and down the bottom of the chute up in Amos Corner. It is Bedard, Exton, Lamage, and King, the same order as we've had here for a number of laps now. Out of 5B, and again, it's up through the gearbox, the 109 horsepower, and they work up the Andretti straightaway on lap number 17. We're coming up on a little over 10 minutes to go, Jim, and I think you're right. In the last few laps, that's where the fireworks are going to begin.
The fireworks are going to begin. They don't have to worry about saving the car for tomorrow because, well, they've got several days before they have to
a month.
They've got a month before they have to put the cars back on the racetrack in Quebec. And now looking to the inside and taking over first place, Jake Exton's 00 car at the top of the straightaway made it look easy.
While he was trying time and time again on the outside, I think that time he sort of faked out Bedard, came up on the inside and was able to blow by going into the top of the S's. So Jake Exton, who had the problems yesterday when he parked it in turn number 3, he has come storming back a day later, won the pole position, led here early, got shuffled back, but now he has gone back out in front, pushing the points leader, and the number 1 car there of Olivier Bedard back into the 2nd place spot. Valerie Lamage right now sitting there in 3rd, but you get the feeling that 4th place car of Kevin King, he is not done trying to climb up here and maybe grab one of the podium spots.
Oh, he loved the podium spot. He sincerely loved the either one of the top two, but the bottom line is there's a bunch of people in front of him, and he has to be sitting behind the wheel of the 40 machine, thinking to himself, "Oh, come on, guys! If you guys are going to fight this hard, you have to move around different pieces of the racetrack, get away from the race line. You have to slow down a little bit, don't you? Please give me a break." Kevin King runs in 4th place. Would love to finish in the top 2 and remain in the championship. 4th place right now. Inside, 10 minutes to go, running out of time.
And Bedard took a look on the inside at Moss Corner there at 5B, and I think that may have caught the Jake Exton car just a little bit. He's tucked right up on his rear bumper. Here comes Valerie Lamage. We'll see if Bedard tries to pull the slingshot here at the end of the Andretti straightaway. He elects to follow him in through turn number 8, although he was parked right up underneath that rear bumper. And now as they swing through 9 and headed for 10, it is the 00 of Exton, then Bedard, then Lamage, and the 40 there of Kevin King as they roll up across the line. That order hasn't changed here in a few laps, but that will be lap number 18, or lap number 18 going up on the board. And we have got just about 8 minutes remaining. Things winding down here in the Nissan Micra Cup, race number 2 on the weekend under that new Champion Bridge down to the bottom of turn number 2. And on that lap, Kevin King lost about 3 or 4 car lengths as he tries to make that back up coming on the brakes into 3.
Boy, we've got a real dogfight at the exit of turn number 3 now. Lots of people still with us. From time to time, when we have the Camping World Truck Series come and join us, when the Camping World race ends, so you can see an exit from the racetrack. Lots of people did decide that they wanted to make it an early exit. However, lots of people still are staying with us because they learned what a great race this was. Yesterday in the rain, they managed to turn the entire race distance into 19 laps. We are working at lap number 19, and we still have 8 minutes remaining. There's lots of racing still to go.
Well, you get the feeling that Bedard is not done yet. Yesterday, remember, he finished 4th. Of course, he wants to finish ahead of Kevin King, his closest pursuer for the championship. But after finishing off of the podium, I believe for the first time this season, Bedard looking to go back to the top of the podium here this afternoon. And standing between him and that is that 00 Move-It car of Guildford, England's Jake Exton, back through turn number 10, and on the start-finish straightaway, they work up across the line. Lap number 19 goes up on the board. That is how many laps they completed yesterday here in the wet. But I think with this one, we're probably looking at 23 or 24 laps before we wrap it all up. Kevin King struggling now to stay with the front-running 3 drivers. He's dropped about 9-10 car lengths back as Bedard continues to pressure the race leader, Jake Exton. They're out of turn number 2, headed for 3. As you said, Jim, a pretty good crowd still up there in turn number 3, watching the second half of this Nissan Micra Cup doubleheader. And both of these races have been extremely entertaining, and some of the close racing we've seen all weekend long.
Indeed. There's there can be no excuse in many of the race series for not putting on this kind of show, because these are not a word of a lie. These are $10,000 race cars. That's how they start. There's a few bits and pieces, safety equipment you have to add to them. But the thing is, for the same prices, I can't help but imagine some of the more expensive go-kart teams lay out to go racing. You could race real full-size automobiles on real full-size Grand Prix circuits like Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And we've got 3 cars right now running within 0.3 of a second. Kevin King in the 40 machine seems to have eased a little bit. Could he be saving tires for the last couple of laps?
I don't know. Kevin maybe has just lost a little bit of the draft there and hasn't been able to get it back. Here is Bedard, takes a look on the inside of Exton through turn number 8. But again, if you're going to make a move, if you lose momentum, and that is the secret to running one of these cars, you've got to keep the corner speed up. And one little miscue will cost you a bunch of time out there on the racetrack. Back up across the stripe they go. And the front-running 3 cars continue to pull away from Kevin King. The order stays the same. That double-zero move-it machine of Jake Exton just ahead of Olivier Bedard, driving that Solid Experts car, then the number 220 of Valerie Lemage, the Total Racing team, as she works back in that third-place position.
And actually the difference from first to third has gone from 0.3 to under 0.2 of a second. Valerie Lemage hasn't given up on this one by any stretch either. And as we watched in the witness in the last race, if you stay close, hey, who knows what's going to happen in the last quarter, and who knows how big a trophy might land in your lap as a result. The bottom line is Valerie Lemage is maybe playing the same kind of cards as the last race winner did. Just stay close to the top two, and if they make a mistake, hey, thank you very much, guys. I'll feel, no remorse in taking the top step of the podium for you.
While these Pirelli tires doing a great job, the pace has been torrid up front among these four. Still Norman Boyer in the 11 car, sitting back there in fifth. He is your senior leader. Fatty Murad, 77 in sixth. Seventh is 98 Sylvain Ouellette. 17 Mike Ogren in eighth. Ninth is Eric Chapeau, and Peter Dick in car number 73 rounds out the top 10. Of course, Pirelli, the official tire. Mobil 1, the series official oil. And they've been great partners here in 2018 as the lead pair off of turn 10 across the stripe. And again, Jake Exton, who has led more laps than any of the other drivers, will take him down into turn number 1. And that is lap number 21. Goes up on the board. We've got less than 3 minutes to go. And I think that'll be enough time for just a couple of more laps. Looking at the battle there that's going on, back for 10th, that 73 car of Peter Dick. I believe that's another one of the close battles we're watching here on the racetrack. But up front, those four drivers continue to go at it as the Peter Dick number 73 car just ahead of 75, Alex Habrish. That is the battle for 10th place, and they're going to go side by side off the end of the Andretti straightaway.
Headed to the podium. Talk to you soon.
We'll be checking in with Jim Martin at the conclusion of this one for the presentations. Into turn number 10 on the start-finish straightaway. Still that number 73 car of Peter Dick, the Whitby, Ontario driver, the NRW Rennsport entry, holding on to that 10th place position, but he continues to be pressured by Alex Habrish in the 75 car. That is a dandy little battle going on between that pair just at the tail end of the top 10. Working lap 22, and we'll see if next time by that last lap flag comes out. If not this time, as we come up on about a minute and a half to go, I think it'll be the next time around as Jake Exton in the 00 will bring them to the line. Olivier Bedard, car number 1 in second, Valerie Lemage third, and it does look as though that 40 car of Kevin King has been able to make up a little bit of ground, but he still has a long way to go to really get up there and challenge for a podium spot. They work up over the crest of the hill under the Champion Moon Bridge, down to the bottom now of turn number 2 on the inside. Bedard a little tighter line through the left-hander at turn number 2. Now he sets it up for the run here into 3 and is close to within half a car length. And now you get the feeling that the points leader and two-time champion in the Nissan Micra Cup Series, Olivier Bedard, is about to play the trump card coming out of the racing deck into turn number 5. Front running 4 cars. It has been this close pretty much all race long. After Bedard qualified 8, he has just charged up through the field, driving that Solid Experts car up into the number 2 spot as he tries to reel in the race leader and pole sitter, the 00 of Jake Exton out of Guildford, England. 22 laps completed, working lap number 23, and the clock about to hit the 20-minute mark. And I would think next time by is when we're going to see that white last lap flag as they work through turn number 8.
Last lap.
Out of turn 10. Jim, go ahead.
The last lap flag has been out, and now the checkered flag comes out. And the race winner is Jake Exton. Now that's timing. I just walked by start finish and the checkered flag came up. That's amazing.
Well, we don't
what
have
a great race.
Yeah, we don't have a great vantage point of the flagger stand there, but great cover there, Jim. And we'll check to see. Maybe we can see if Monsieur Brasseur can help us with the points. Does that second place finish to Jake Exton give Olivier Bedard enough points that he's got the championship wrapped up? Because remember, Kevin King was back there in the fourth place spot, so it will be the 0-0 of Jake Exton. Olivier Bedard won, and Valerie Lamage, what a great weekend for Valerie. She got the win yesterday with those penalties being assessed post-race, and now comes back here to finish on the podium after turning in a great drive. Looking at another fight that's been going on here for that 10th place position involving the 75 of Alex Habrish and the number 73 of Peter Dick. And it looks like Peter Dick is going to hold on to that 10th place position as they roll up across the line. Habrish in car number 75 is going to finish back there in the 11th place spot. 86 Peter Cohen will be 12th. 728 Mario Charette will be 13th. And then we had the one driver who only completed 10 laps after running into some kind of a mechanical problem to 20 of Austin Riley. So a tremendous drive here for Jake Exton after Exton ran up in that lead group early yesterday, but then had to park it in turn 3 with some kind of a problem. In fact, the left front tire went down. He parked it over in turn number 3, but comes back here with an incredible run at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in round 9 of the Nissan Micra Cup, with the pole position that he earned this morning in that 20-minute qualifying session. And Exton comes back here after a race-long battle with Olivier Bedard. He was able to make the pass at the end of the Andretti straightaway a number of laps ago and was able to hold off Bedard, who gave it everything he could to try to get around that 0-0 move-it machine as he rolls onto pit road. A couple of the race fans who have stayed with us here at turn number 10 up out of their chairs, giving Jake Exton a big round of applause. And again, we do thank those race fans who didn't rush out of here after the Chevy Silverado 250 and elected to take their time, enjoy a beautiful sunny and warm Sunday afternoon here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, as that 0-0, the move-it machine, finishing ahead of our points leader and two-time champion Olivier Bedard. And as we said, a great weekend for Valerie Lamage with a couple of podium finishes here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. For the Nissan Micro Cup teams, they'll get about a month off as they renew hostilities at the Mont Tremblant circuit